vibration. That's what we're starting this with, is a strong vibration of the drum. And the drum represents the heartbeat of Mother Earth. It's the Earth's heartbeat. In the African tradition, bring people together. The drums bring people together. That's what we're doing. We're coming together in this prayer of all our ancestors in all the directions. We're all related. So here's the rhythm that we're going to do. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, whatever's annoying us, whatever we came here, it's baggage, let us give it to this beautiful, beautiful Mother Earth. Let's surrender all that. Let's come with our hearts open, our hearts trusting that we are in an amazing process. I was told once it's break down to break through. Let's just give whatever we want to give and need to give to this Mother Earth so that we can just create a wonderful home now. And with this, we all come, we're all relatives. We're relatives. Black, red, yellow, white. We come together with all our ancestors from all the directions. And we're casting our pebble, our peace pebble, into the pond. And we're rippling it, let it ripple out this energy. As we create this energy today, and this energy doesn't stop. It continues to go out into the universe forever. So I thank you for all of your prayers and coming together in this strength. Thank you all. And Black Lives Matter. Aho!
Thank you very much for leading us in prayer and welcoming and bringing us together today. My name is Senator Linda Lopez, representing the Southwest Quadrant here in Bernalillo County, and I'd like to welcome you for joining us this morning as we begin our prayer for unity, our call to action in supporting our Black brothers and sisters. At this time, I would like to welcome and ask to please come up Patricia Ann Davis, She's a child of All Nations Indigenous Wisdom Institute, where she specializes in Indigenous spiritual wellness restoration. She is also a whole systems designer, specializing in peacemaking leadership, and is an international teacher. She will offer affirmations for unifying as Holy Earth, surface people, in the synchronized prayer and healing ceremony for Black Lives Matter. Patricia.
Into this. We are all the beloved community, acknowledging the original people of Turtle Island and the tribal territories of the Pueblo, the Apache, the Dene nations, and gratitude for our collective spiritual identity, spoken in our languages and lived in our cultural ways, each anointed as multi-generational stewards of the earth, water, fire, and air, taking care of these four sacred elements within the web of love and light and love and life, also being taken care of in reciprocity by these elements of our organic constitution, simultaneously, synergistically within our natural order environment. And in the spirit of Hojo, the eternal oneness with Creator within creation, where we are all Bella Ashtlai, 5 fingers people, humane beings, each of us as a precious child, equally. It has been given to me by my late father to inspire and motivate people to remember and to reawaken to our conscience, our sacred self, holy thinking. Ehozin, in the ceremony of Hojoja, living the loving way as a way of life. For our collective survival, we are all traveling on a 4 corn pollen footsteps within the natural order laws that govern us all equally. All of my relatives in this cross-cultural sacred circle wellness restoration ceremony, halito do yaat e shik shidane, a welcome greeting in the Nehbazad, the holy people's words, where it is impossible, one cannot say, but not you. One cannot have that intention in this language. Sheh e ya Adonai, Patricia, we're all equally precious. Therefore, kudo hojodole nahasan hima Jonah e yadelhir hasht e howan ha a shada a e a nahokons nsahakes Kalpulli Izkalli Izkalli Nahat Vigil, Child of All Nations Indigenous Wisdom Institute. Southwest organizational projects. Nahokons Sehasin Do Basheni Vigil Black Lives Matter. Ahye Shajre Shata Diyin Hojo Nasha Do Leith Kone the Netbakagi on this abundant earth. All Black lives matter. Sa ahnagayik e hojon taradin ekejchin taradin naantien taradin atin ado taradin sad as precious children within this sacred circle of life. Hojo Nahaskli. Ahya. Thank you.
Next, we will have Dr. Doris Fields, African American Resistance Committee. Dr. Doris Fields' career as a public health professional, adjunct faculty member at the University of New Mexico, and activist continues post-retirement as a minister of compassion. Her most informative and profound experiences occurred directly learning from the venerable Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh the practice of mindfulness. She lives love as a spiritual healing paradigm, and along with the renowned playwright Karen Jones Meadows, Dr. Fields is a co-founder of the New Mexico African American Resilience Committee. Dr. Fields.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We are one. We are one people. We are originated in one place. We are origin of one. We have traveled many paths to be here, and we are here now again in unity as one. We have never been other than one. We have to give thanks to our ancestors who laid down the seeds of hope, of love, of peace. They struggled, and it is the seeds of their struggle and their triumphs that allows us to stand tall as the trees solid in root. And for our blessing, we offer libation to our ancestors, and we begin in the East. We give thanks to our ancestors in the East. We offer libation, and we ask for peace. Ashe. In the South, we give thanks to our ancestors. We offer libation, and we ask for love. Ashe. In the West, we give thanks to our ancestors. We offer libation, and we ask for wisdom. In the North, we give thanks to our ancestors. We offer libation, and we ask for harmony. Ashe. And we ask for peace, love, wisdom, and harmony, and we give thanks to Father Sky and also to Mother Earth, and with heart, with love, always and only. We have in our tradition representation for the various aspects of our ancestors. On our table we have dirt from the continent of Africa, representing those Africans who were never stolen from their homeland. On our table, we also have water from the Atlantic Ocean that represents those of our ancestors who were stolen from their homelands and placed on ships, many of whom survived and many of whom were thrown overboard. We understand that their bones lie in a path at the bottom of the ocean. We also have on our altar a rock that is from this continent that represents those of our ancestors who survived Middle Passage and were placed in market slavery here on this continent. We also have elements on our table to remind us that there are many aspects of life and we are subjected to them and we survive them. One of the things we have on our table is they're very spices of life. And the first spice of life is hot. And it's spicy, it's hot, and what we recognize is that there are many things in our lives that are challenging, burning, hot, searing to us. And we have to learn to overcome them, to work through them. We also have another spice, which is sour, reminding us that there are many things that are bitter and sour in our lives. We work to overcome those. We also have then on our table some honey, sweet. This is to remind us that in fact, although we must endure the bitterness, the sourness, the heat, the burning hotness that is painful, that when we come full, we have much sweetness in life and remind ourselves with the sweetness. Shame. And we ask for all of these things, and so we ask if you will say with us, Harambe, and I will tell you how to do that. We'll say Harambe 7 times, and each time you say Harambe, you say it more loudly than the time before. And Harambe means that we pull together and make it so. So, if someone will count to us. Harambe. 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 We're going to do it together. So we'll start. Harambe. 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 Harambe.
Thank you, Dr. Fields. As we proceed with the morning prayer, there are a few things also of importance. What we'll be proceeding with Kalpulli Izkalli, that will offer an invocation of the 4 directions and will give the community in the sacred circle an ofrenda, an offering of copal and tobacco ties. In the traditional Mexican indigenous ceremonies, it is important to open each prayer with honoring the sacred directions, similar as we have just done with Dr. Fields. The east, west, north, south, sky, earth, and heart at the center are all essences that guide our lives. Each community has their own way of honoring these directions or cardinal points. Hacemos esto para ubicarnos en el tiempo y espacio, reconociendo que no estamos solos, que todos es de todos y que estamos todos conectados. We do this to center ourselves in time and space, acknowledging that we are not alone, that everything belongs to everyone, and that we are all connected. Omoteo is a word you will be hearing during the ceremony. It means the creative force in the universe, duality of creation in Natural. Our ancestors understood that everything is made up of energy, and that from Omoteo, duality springs forth as complementary forces, like day and night, sun and moon, life and death. It is used to seal the prayers and/or during a speech and acknowledgement that we are all related. And we light candles, and what it means is that the flame of the candle reminds us that fire is our spirit, that fire is energy, that fire is our internal and eternal flame, and that we are all connected by that flame. We light these candles in memory of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and for the many other brothers and sisters that have been slain by police. As we remember them, as we call their names, we spark their eternal flame, their spirit, and remember that we are all part of one flame, and we acknowledge that we are all connected. Kalpulli Izkalli is a grassroots intergenerational action and resource center led by families and individuals dedicated to healing our community and the environment through promotion, preservation, and protection of cultural and traditional practices, which include agriculture, medicine, and ceremony.
Con el permiso de todas las ánimas de los cuatro vientos, el permiso de nuestros abuelos Ometeo y Ometicutli y Omisiwal, y todos aquellos en nuestros ancestros, we ask for permission and we invite the spirits of the great mystery, Ometicutli and Omisiwal, our ancestors, the spirit of our ancestors. We invite them to offer us, give us life. And we invite the spirits of the direction of the east, where the sun comes, where the sun rises, where the sun gives us light, where the sun helps us to know who we are, where the sun lights our eternal light. We give thanks to the east, to the spirits of the east, to the spirits that walk beside each and every one of us, and to the spirit that the Father Son gives to our Mother Earth, so that she can provide us with everything we need, and remind us of that spirit from the east that is air, the wind, and allow for our words and our prayers to be heard. Obdeo. Pedimos a las ánimas guardianas del poniente que nos dan permiso y nos guían para crear un espacio de luz donde, así como cada día el sol se mece, renace, así podamos renacer como seres de luz. También es el es la dirección que cuida nuestra agua, es la energía del agua. Y así como el agua corre y nutre nuestros campos, así queremos que nuestras almas sean nutridas. Y queremos que este espacio de luz logre que en nuestros corazones florezca el amor.
Each and every one of you that is here, I ask you to connect with your ancestors at this moment. And as you are doing that, you will bless the flowers that represent the Mother Earth, our dear Mother Earth that gives us food and that gives us the ability to survive. So, ancestors, thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for all the gifts that you have given us. Thank you for allowing us to be here this day. Without you, we would not be here. Thank you for the sacrifices that you have made. Thank you for the wisdom, and thank you for all the lessons that you have given us so that we can survive on this earth today. This is also the connection of this Kalpulli, the smoky mirror, who helps us to reflect on ourselves and it gives us the lessons that we need to learn on this planet. Help us to reflect from one another the goodness and the peace that we all deserve in our lives. The direction of the south, the direction with Lampa, the direction of fire, the direction of children. I ask permission of this direction of the south, of fire, to wake up our child in our hearts and let them know that we have survived and now we are here to thrive. We ask that our passions are awakened and our hearts remain open to love and to peace and to healing. The direction of Lopez, the warrior, our hummingbird warrior, the keeper of memory. We ask that we continue to remember that we are fire and that we do burn with love and with healing. We ask that we continue to nurture our children, that they carry these passions and this fire forward with us so that we may heal, so that we may continue to grow, so that we continue to grow our roots and our planted love in our hearts. We ask that we continue to nurture our children as we nurture our child selves, and then bring that forth to heal. As we remember playing in that dirt brings us to our love and to our healing. On the field. On the field. pidiendo permiso de la jícara celeste. Gatsin, gracias por tus nubes, tus luz, tu agua, tu viento. Ese mapa de estrellas que nos enseña cuándo plantar y cuándo tomar nuestros frutos de la vida. Gracias por ser el mapa de nuestros ancestros, los cosmos. Fundador de la vida. Ten piedad en tu casa. Nasukamati, Palmenuani. ¡Oh, Meteo! ¡Oh, Meteo!
Come down to the earth. And we give thanks for our Madre Tierra, our Madre Interna, our Mother of Consciousness, our Mother of our Spirit Soul, our Mother of our inner feelings about who we are as human beings. We come together today to honor you, Madre Tierra. Thank you for the seeds of life that you have given us. Thank you for all our gifts. Thank you for grounding us. We must continue to ground. We must continue to connect with the Mother Earth so that we will connect with our ancestors, to continue to work on our ancestors, with our ancestors and our Mother Earth, so that we can flourish, so that we can have peace in our heart. Oh, Meteo.
Oh, Meteo.
Oh, Meteo. Now we ask the Great Spirit, el creador de la vida, el creadora de la vida, as we honor this center, as we made a full circle and we come to the center where our heart is, we ask your lampa, the place of the heart, the place of our internal light, the place where we go inside to know who we are and to know that we are all related. But like everyone, to take 3 deep breaths in, this breath of life, to acknowledge this life and this journey, and acknowledge that we always come back to the center. And with gratitude in our hearts, we thank that great mystery that gives us life, el dador de la vida, los dadores de la vida. We give thanks for all those elements that provide us and nourishes us and give us life, and more important, we give thanks to our Mother Earth that reminds us that we are on middle ground. Oh, Meteo,
Thank you. As a reminder for those who are joining us this morning, we do have simultaneous ceremony that is being prayed in Taos, Santa Fe, and Las Cruces at this very same time. What we will be proceeding on right now is with our statement of partners, and we'd like to invite Lorraine Cordova from Kalpulli Izkalli. She's a lifelong Nuevo Mexicana, born and raised in the North Valley of Albuquerque. She's a family nurse practitioner and traditional healer and one of the founders of Casa de Salud, where she continues to practice providing family health care primarily to the uninsured. She also coordinates a weekly group for those with drug dependencies, focusing on spiritual and soul healing. And she is proud to say that she's been a comadre of the Kalpulli Izkalli for over 20 years. Lorraine?
Thank you. Good morning to everybody, even with masks on and 6 feet apart. Thank you for being here. Can you hear? Thank you for being here. Yes, I am a proud member of the Kalpulli Izkalli, and we have worked very hard to work with our community. The Kalpulli Izkalli, which means Community House of Light, has opened its doors in 1996 with the purpose of supporting the community with mental, emotional, body, mind, and spirit medicine that was passed down from our ancestors. We have supported each other, individuals, and the community through individual limpias, through spiritual cleansings, through group healings, through ancestral teachings, with the ultimate goal to help others. The Kalpulli Izkalli major program areas are health and healing, healing Mother Earth and justice, youth, building next generation leadership, economic self-sufficiency. And one of the most important things that we as Kalpulli Izkalli embrace is to help those who come to our Community House of Light, to help them to remember and to reconnect and honor their roots so that they can embrace their authentic selves. Our community is suffering. From the words of the great healer Nelson Mandela, I quote, "The time for healing of the wounds has come. The time for healing of the wounds has come. We, the comadres and the compadres from the Kalpulli Izkalli, stand with you, with our community in solidarity to start the process of healing with each of you and the members of our community who have suffered for hundreds of years. And we support the unity prayers and the healing ceremony here today. We ask you, once we start, which we did already start our prayer ceremony, to participate with us. As we said earlier, Ometeot is a word you will be hearing during the ceremony. It means duality of creation in Nahuatl. When we use this word, we are recognizing that we live in balance of opposing forces. So I ask you, if you wish to join us, to please repeat after me. And when we say Ometeot, recognizing that we can and live in balance, even if there are opposing forces. Ometeot. 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 Gracias.
Thank you, comadre. Next, one of our other partners is the Black Lives Matter. We do have Vicky Archuleta and Nakia Russ, who will be with us on streaming, but I know Arthur Bell. If you would join us up front, please. You are also an organizer with Black Lives Matter. And if you would please share with us.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's crazy to see this many people out here in solidarity with my race. I'm a firm believer that prayer is everything. Like, you can manifest a lot through prayer. So the fact that we have all you out here praying for our sanity, our equality, and just justice for my people speaks volumes, and it doesn't go unnoticed, and it's greatly appreciated. And as far as, I guess, what I want is just to see more of this, to see more of Albuquerque and New Mexico and the rest of the world coming together and trying to build something for everybody, not just for the Black Lives Matter, but for everybody as a community. And I think this is a great start, and I love to see you all here once a month or however we can get it together, because it's needed and it is appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, as one of our partners is the NAACP, represented by Devante Watson. He's a community activist. He serves as economic chair of the state NAACP Economic Development Committee. If you please join us.
Am I talking? Oh, well, I kind of just want to say good morning. Hi. Also, I want to really thank the people who organized to put this together. I think that it's really important, and I think that there is some type of prayer and healing that needs to happen, right? Especially for Black people. I think we're in a state of consistent mourning and grief, which can be super traumatic for us, right? So yeah, I'm extremely thankful to the people who put this together outside of organizing. I personally believe there needs to be some type of healing and some type of prayer, whatever that looks like, to whoever, you know. Also on top of that, I think that we're in a space where allies and people actually need to start putting in the work, right? I think that marches are great. All of these things are great. I think at this point they've served their purpose, and I think we're in a space where we absolutely need to start putting in the work, right? And yeah, so I like I said, I'm thankful. Thanks for having me here. On top of that, I think that we really, really need to sit in a space of that faith and hope and all of these things mean absolutely nothing without action. It's nice to say we're in a space of prayer and we're in a space of hope and we're in a space of unity, but all of these things mean absolutely nothing if we are not acting specifically in spaces to protect Black bodies. And I think that this is the space and the time, right? I think that we've done a lot of organizing, we've done a lot of marches, we've done a lot of protests, and I think it's really important that we put the space and the hope that we have and the faith that we have, and basically combine that with action, right? Because I feel like we can have all the hope and all the faith and all of these things, but if we're not doing anything, if we're not being active as community members, and that's across the board, right? If we're not actively protecting Black bodies, then what does that really mean for us, right? So I just really once again want to say thank you. I'm so appreciative of this space, and I'm glad that this space was organized by Black folks, right? I think that that's incredibly important. I think I've personally craved spaces with just Black people in the sense of organizing and being present, and we exist here, right? We're
I know it's Sunday. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, victory today is mine. Thank you.
Thank you, Devante. Next, we have representing the missing and murdered Indigenous women, Elena Giachi. She is a national trainer on historical trauma, anti-racism, and the understanding of sexual and intimate violence issues with emphasis in Indian country. Ms. Giachi.
Let's stop and just reflect on that name, missing, murdered Indigenous women. What a horrific name, and what a terrible reason to be present on this day. The steps that we need to do to redress this genocide must be no less monumental than the combination of systems and actions that has worked to maintain this colonial violence for generations. We must train our communities on historical, multi-generational, and intergenerational trauma, and what that really means, and not according to U.S. history books. We must denounce and speak out against violence against our Indigenous women, men, young girls, and young boys. We must educate ourselves on what Indigenous community really is, and then, and only then, do you become an ally for our community by listening. Calls for justice are legal imperatives for our community. Our civil rights and our own breath are not optional. We are Indigenous and never forget our ancestors. With their lives, they have planted our seeds to balance, respect, and honor. We must always carry our relatives with us, on our backs, next to us, and that let them lead us. For those who have been taken, tortured, and murdered, we can never forget, we can never ignore our brothers, our sisters, our grandmas, our great-grandmas, and our young ones that are gone today. Never ignore, never forget. Thank you.
Thank you, Elena. And now we will go once again to participate with our medicine drumming circle.
Can I say a little something about us? Okay. We're just a group of drummers. We started to drum together because we find healing with the drums. And we started raising money together, coming together and raising money. We first started raising money for Standing Rock, and we sent money to the camp. We ended up sending 4 families from Standing Rock to the Native March on Washington. And then we just collect for the homeless. We were out serving water yesterday to the homeless. We've also sent money to the border. We just come together as community with the drums, and that's what the drums are. They bring people together. And in the African djembe, and we'll do a little something that has some rhythm more. That's the name of the drum. Djembe actually means unity. The djembe, show of the djembe. These are the African djembes. It means the word djembe means unity. It means bringing people together. And that's what we do. We're bringing people together with that heartbeat. So if you don't have a drum, you could clap. So let's just. So you can find your place, right? Keep it going, and we're gonna try to just build some music, because music is medicine. Music is medicine.
Hi everyone, my name's Kathy, and I haven't been around for a while. Just keep going, that's okay. You know, we're not professional drummers. We just believe in the medicine of the drums. I came to the drum just because I needed some kind of medicine being in New York. And it grounded me somewhat, and I invite everyone, get a drum. Drum by yourself at home if you need to right now. But let it help you connect with this wonderful Mother Earth. And we find our medicine through the drum. There are no specific people except Elisa. She is the leader of all of it. And whoever comes to drum with her is Medicine Drum Circle. So right now, we're on Medicine Drum Circle. Okay?
We're gonna find that beat inside of us. This is an affirmation. All right. I am whole and healthy. I am whole and healthy. My body has no illness. My body has no illness. My body is a perfect self-healing organism. A radiant beam that purifies all toxins.
more of the world. We call upon us, you call upon us to stand beside the wounded and the defenseless, to acknowledge those who are despised and ostracized, to open up our hearts in solidarity. We stand here this morning as sisters and brothers, a family of nations in vital relations with each other and all of life. Creator, may we rejoice in our diversity. May our hearts be lifted as we gather here today in prayer for every nation, tribe, people, and language. Creator, give us the strength to speak out against injustice. May we create reconciliation where each human soul is valued and where equality and respect for Black Lives Matter is a reality. Creator, hear our prayer, hear the desire of our hearts. You
want to come say something, Tanya? Asa kamati o Mateo.
Someone told us that had come back from learning to drum in Africa. When you drum, your hands are activated. So put it where you need healing. The medicine. You know, in ceremonies, the first thing in the Sundance, we smoke the pipe. We come out with the pipes to share the pipe, the sacred pipe. Okay, thank you, everybody. Namaste. Aho, Mateo.
Thank you so very much. Next, we will be listening to, participating with the danzantes. They are different groups here from Albuquerque. We have the Grupo de Danza Azteca Kalpulli Izkalli, and also the Grupo de Danza Conchera Mayuel. And if we could, please join us for the danzantes here on the outer circle.
y el papá de la Carlos.
Thank you very much, Dan Santos. We will proceed now with one of our presenters, and this is Beth Cohen. She has served as the cantor and music director at Congregation Nahalat Shalom since 1995. Ms. Cohen, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be here, and thank you for all the beautiful prayers and drumming. It's really an inspiration. I'm so proud to be here and joining with all of you. I'd like to, originally when I was going to sing today, inviting you to join me to sing, I was looking at, I composed a melody for, to the verse from Leviticus that says, commands us, and we accept the commandment to love one another. To love, the commandment is, I take it upon myself to love the other as myself. It's in Leviticus 19. And I wrote a melody to that, and I wanted to share that with you today, and I thought, well, we love each other, and we know that. And that's very important to emulate that every day and every morning and all the time when we wake up and when we go through our work and go shopping and whatever we're doing throughout the day. And I thought, but this is really more about the work and the task at hand, which does have its roots in love. And so I wanted to share this other prayer with you that was written by Rabbi Menachem Creditor. And he wrote this for his daughter that was born on the same day as the Twin Towers were bombed in New York. And it's from Psalm 89. And the words are in Hebrew, Olam Chesed Yibaneh. And Olam, in this case, it often means the world. But in this case, it means, what does it means? I'm going to work and put kindness and loving kindness. So it's different than just love. The word for love in Hebrew is va'ahavta. This is chesed, which means loving kindness. And it's more about how we treat each other. And the teaching behind it is we don't treat anybody else how we don't want to be treated. So I'd like to invite you to sing this, and then there's words in English that you'll recognize. I will build this world from love, and you must build this world from love, and we will build this from love, then God will build this world from love. And it just starts out with lie, lie, lie. And if you guys want to drum with me, that would be awesome. Olam chesed, lie, lie. Lie, 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 lie. Ya la, lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 ya la, lie, lie, lie. Ya la, lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. La 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 la. La 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Oh la libane. Ya la 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 la. Olam chesed yibane. La 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 la. La 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Olam chesed yibane. La la la. I will build this world from love. La 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 la. And you must build this world from love. La 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 la. Then we will build this world from love. La la la. Then God will build this world from love. La 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 la. Olam chesed yibaneh. La 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 la. I also wanted to share what is known in the Jewish tradition as the Kaddish Yatom. It's known as the Mourner's Kaddish. And it's in the ancient language of Aramaic. And in the Jewish tradition, we say this prayer when we've lost a loved one, a dear one, very close to us, such as a mother or a father or a child, and or a husband or wife, or a life partner, and then we say it every day for a whole year, and we say it in community, and the tradition is we're supposed to have at least a minyan of 10 people, so we definitely have a minyan of 10 people here or more, and I want you to say this prayer for all of the people who have died from racism, racial injustice, police violence, and oppression. And I'll give you a minute to say the name of anybody you want to remember aloud. And there are parts of this prayer where I'll cue you, and the response is Amen. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah. Va'alma divrach iruteh v'yamlich malchuteh v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayechon d'chol Beit Yisrael ba'agala v'izman karev v'imeru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach la'olam ha'omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh v'yitalal v'yitalel v'shmei d'kudashah. And this is Barichu, blessed be. La'elam min kol berata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata da amiran ba'alma divrach chiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh v'yimru Amen. Oh, this is a prayer for peace that is included in the prayer. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, the whole world, ve'imru, amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Beth Cohen. We will proceed as we have many of our partners who are here with us today. And I'd like to invite Marjorie Germain. She is a member and activist in our community and is a member of the New Mexico Black Caucus. Ms. Germain, if you would join us up front, please. You'd like to use Linda. Okay. If you can leave your mask on, that would be good. Or if you want to use this one.
Leave it on?
You can get closer to this. Okay.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
It is an honor to be here with you this morning to speak on behalf of the New Mexico Black Caucus, and I am so grateful for this. First and foremost, I want to be present to the power and blessings of the Almighty God. As a Black woman, raising Black children and a Black husband, it is vigil like this that bring us together and remind us that we are one ancestry under God. This is exactly what the world needs, that we are one human race living in America. Today, as we celebrate America, we're inviting America to celebrate the country's diversity and to remind us as we pray that the deep sins of racism will be overcome forever and ever. I want to remind you that each person is a unique creation of God. Our diversity should not be a problem that needs to be solved or that can, what should I say, divide us, and something that divides us. We pray today for peace, love, and a change of heart. May God bless you all, and thank you for everything.
Thank you very much, Marjorie. Next, we have of our partners with us today from the Southwest Organizing Project, Lisa Padilla and Franklin Ghana. If you could please join us Lisa Padilla is the gender justice organizer for the Southwest Organizing Project and is a native Burqueña, descended from generations of Nuevo Mexicanos and Mexicanos. She's the mother of 3 young men whom she has raised to be feminists. A student of psychology and social work, she advocates for women, femmes, and LGBT people of color. Franklin Ghana is a community activist who focuses on good work conditions for employees and students in the Albuquerque Public Schools. Lisa and Franklin, please.
My name is Franklin Gauna. I represent the Southwest Organizing Project. SWAP stands in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement because of what it does to help minimize systematic racism, which focuses on police brutality. We as an organization will stand with you in nonviolent protest to increase the visibility of violence against the Black community. Thank you.
Love is in need of love today. Many of you know this iconic song by Stevie Wonder. Released in 1976, this song has never been more true. He himself has said that in order to be effective, love must be fed. It has to be nurtured and cultivated. How can we do this in this socially distant time with the pandemic of hatred and divisiveness this country has fostered? It's up to us to find the love in our hearts for one another. Audre Lorde once wrote, "The master's tools will never dismantle the master's house." We must subvert the politics of the status quo, the tools of a white supremacist, capitalist, heteropatriarchy, and embrace one another in our many earthly meat suit guises. If, as Bell Hooks once said, the practice of love is the most powerful antidote to the politics of domination, we know what our mission must be. Healing, cultivating compassion, working together as brothers and sisters, and not stopping until we are all free. Feeding and caring for one another. Justice is what love looks like out in public, Cornel West once said. We must learn how to love ourselves and one another so radically that it's understood as political resistance. This is our access to power. How can we pivot from individual transactions of self-care to a communal transformation? Number 1, we must be in community with healers in our lives. Healers, we must make sure our gifts and talents are made available and accessible to those in need, those growing and changing our communities. Number 2, we must be in family with one another, offer the love and care we have, receive the love and care that we need. Get creative about what you give and how. Get ambitious. Number 3, let our interactions with those closest to us be a means to practice what we would generate in the world, an abundance of love and care that we are all longing for. Only by generating love in our day-to-day lives will we be able to have it overflow into our communities, into our society, and into our country. My prayer today is that love is given the love that it needs to thrive, take hold, and transform us as a beloved community to power. Amen.
Thank you very much, Lisa and Franklin. Next, we will ask to please join us as our partner, Imam Fuzail Ahmed of the Islamic Center of New Mexico, and he will also lead us in a Muslim prayer. Imam, and welcome.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That means peace be upon you. Blessings from God. Islam says every life matters. And at one point, your father and mine is the same. Your mother and mine is the same. You have an equivalent amount of right on the face of earth as me. Your life is as sacred as mine. Your property is as valuable as mine. And your honor is as valuable as mine. We are all equal in the eyes of God. We need to recognize that. We need to honor each other by embracing, by hugging, by respecting each other. And I would like to recite 2 verses from Quran. First verse I'm going to recite in chapter number 49, verse number 13, in which God says, "O human being, I created you from a single parent, single mother, and single father, which is Adam and Eve. And we made you tribes. So you recognize each other. The most beloved to me, the closest to me, is the one who have a most conscious to me." And in another word of Prophet Muhammad, in his farewell sermon, he says, "You are not superior just because you are an Arab over non-Arabs. And you are not superior based on ethnicity and based on skin color. You are all equal in the eyes of God, but the one who have a piety and who have a consciousness of God." I'm going to recite first in Arabic, which I translated so far. Now I would like to recite it. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. So we ask and we pray to God, may He bless all of us with success, with love, and may He bless all of us with piety, with consciousness. May God bless all of us. Thank you so much.
Next, we'll bring up Samia Assad, who is a Palestinian-American human rights activist and organizer. She serves as chair of the Southwest Organizing Project and serves as chair also of the Albuquerque Center for Peace and Justice. She is also chair-president of New Mexico Women's March and is a member of the Islamic Center of New Mexico. Samia, if you would please join us. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I had my tears. It feels very good to be in a space of healing with all of you. We've come together as community, as different races and religions, to say we stand in solidarity with the Black community, with our indigenous community, with all colonized communities. We stand united. But we understand as we chart the path towards a unity vision of what this world looks like, we have to address healing. Healing for us colonized people. I'm a Palestinian American. All of you know Palestine's in pain today, just like the Blacks in this community, the indigenous, the Chicano, everybody suffering indigenous, and suffering cruelty, occupation. Healing starts with recognizing we can't change the past, but we know as we move forward, we have to organize around not forgetting the past, taking responsibility for all atrocities of the past, and moving forward. You cannot dismiss the cries of Black mothers or indigenous sisters. You cannot deny the pain that they feel, and that brings healing. Trust is another thing for us to see unity. For us to have trust, there has to be accountability. We want accountability for the lost lives. George Floyd screams, and as he screamed for his mama, that was a scream that collected every mother in this world that said, we are summoned to hold people accountable, to hold those in power accountable, to our Black and brown brothers, our sisters, our indigenous murdered sisters that are missing, our West Mesa killings, the women that are murdered. We have to have accountability. We have to have accountability for communities around the world. It starts with us holding those in power accountable for them to have trust, our trust, as we come together to be united. Unity mandates that we recognize each other's humanity. I stand tall amongst you, a community of healers, a community of love, a community that's filled with harmony. I stand with you and walk the journey with you to make sure our humanity is recognized in every corner of this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Samia. We will now have our next partner joining us, Diana Dorn-Jones. She is, of course, with the Anti-Racism Training Institute of the Southwest, which is a project of the United South Broadway Corporation, where Diana is the director. Welcome, Diana.
Start. Good morning, everyone. My name is Diana Dorn-Jones, and I'm here with the Anti-Racism Training Institute of the Southwest. I want you to know that I am deeply thankful to the organizations that planned this morning's prayer vigil for Black Lives Matter. I'm touched by the fact that so many people are gathered today to lift up the lives of African Americans today in the state of New Mexico, where we have so few in population. So I'm touched and I'm grateful and I'm thankful for that. A special thanks to Senator Lopez for carrying this out in the legislature every year and making this issue of race an issue in the New Mexico legislature, where hopefully after the happenings of what's been going on the last few months, she'll get a lot more momentum for these efforts, and to all the people that have supported her in that. Today is more important than ever for our collective community to work together to dismantle institutional racism in New Mexico and in this country. You know, babies are not born racist. They come into this world very simple, very pure, and then somewhere along the lines, racism is a learned behavior for our children. And then it just manifests itself. But if it's a learned behavior, I guess we know that it can be an unlearned behavior. So as a founding member of the Anti-Racism Institute of the Southwest, our work is dedicated to the elimination of structural and institutional racism. I know that there are many good people and organizations across the state of New Mexico whose purpose is to engage communities in healing from the trauma of racism and institutional racism, to be more specific. But one of the things that Artie has learned over 22 years of anti-racism work has taught us is that having a shared analysis and a shared vocabulary is a very powerful first step to building and sustaining a multiracial coalition of people that want to transform our community around these institutions that harbor racism in the area of health, justice, education, and all the economic institutions in this country. Without a shared diagnosis of the disease, a cure will continue to elude us, and the disease will continue to spread, and it'll kill us. I liken it not too different from the coronavirus. The only difference, we can find a vaccine for the coronavirus. It's going to take a lot more work to unroot 400 or more years of trauma and dehumanization of certain members of our community and certain members of this country. But I think we're in it to do the work, and I'm here to do it with you. I must say that undoing racism is a healing process. We live in a society where race often dictates who is excluded and who is not, who is healthy and who is not, who has access to resources and opportunity, and those who do not. In order to heal ourselves, our children, our communities, we must work together to undo racism that dehumanizes all of us. I want to just read one thing to you. I want to read two things to you. One is what the meaning of race, the word race, because it really is a manufactured term. But here's an official term, a definition. By race, we mean a specious classification of human beings created by Europeans, white, which assign human worth and social status using white as a model of humanity and the height of human achievement for the purpose of establishing and maintaining privilege, power, and of course, access to the institutions that should be here to serve us all. My sister-in-law was at the African American Museum in DC when it first opened. And one of the things she picked up for me was because when people say Black Lives Matter, everyone says, oh no, what do you mean by that? So here's the best explanation. And many of you may have heard it by now because I sure have been spreading it. Let us be clear, we said Black Lives Matter. We never said only Black Lives Matter. That was the media, not us. In truth, we know that all lives matter. We've supported your lives throughout history. We've fought in your wars. We've taken care of your children. We've been active and productive members of this community, of this world. Now we need your help with Black Lives Matter, for Black lives are in danger. Once again, our lynchings are going to continue to happen. Now, intellectually, we know it happens to all people of color. But if we can solve America's two original sins, Native Americans, the removal of them from their homes, and separation of their families, and then tearing Africans from their mother country and bringing them here and putting us, me, my family, my people, 400 years of unpaid servitude. I thank you, and let's just remember that it's an important day today. I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, and for all those that share my life experience. Thank you very much. Wear the mask.
Thank you very much, Diane, always for your leadership. Now we will have one of our other speakers for today, Father Frank Quintana. He serves as pastor of St. Oscar Roman Catholic Church Community. Since his arrival 6 years ago in Albuquerque, he has been an activist in peace and justice issues, particularly in the areas of police excessive force, houselessness, and food disparities. Lately, he has been a full-time caregiver for his partner, Ted Bolts, who just celebrated a birthday, so happy birthday, Ted, and is looking forward to the day when he can get his boots back on the ground. Please, Father Frank.
Will somebody give me a cue? Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank the organizers of this prayer vigil, and I would especially like to thank Senator Lopez for inviting me to participate. I'm Father Frank Quintana, and I'm the pastor of St. Oscar Romero Catholic Community. And many of you know me as having been active in the community, particularly in the realm of excessive force by the police, the difficulty that we have with homelessness in this city, and also with food disparity issues. Let me begin by saying that this year I did not celebrate Independence Day. Rather, I observed it by spending a good part of the day in prayer, reflection, and fasting. I know what the holiday is all about: freedom from British rule and the declaration of the ideals and principles that the American experiment was founded upon. You know, I used to be an enthusiastic celebrant of this holiday, but then I began to realize the truth of our history, and that these ideals and principles do not apply to everyone, nor have they ever applied to everyone. From its foundation, this nation afforded the privilege of its ideals only to the white male landowners and to whomever they would decide to extend them. For example, their wives and their children. It's been a while since I've found reason to celebrate this holiday. Don't get me wrong. I think the ideals and values of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, equality, and so forth are admirable, good, and laudable. But aside from being white privilege, these ideals were stolen from indigenous people who already enjoyed them in their native land, but they were stolen from them when their land was stolen. And these privileges were obtained for the privileged by the slave labor of the Black woman and man, and secured through greed and environmental exploitation, and by suppression of the poor and people of color. All the while, designing justice, health, financial, and educational systems aimed at lifting white men and marginalizing people of color, and oppressing, denying, and refusing resources to the poor. We became so used to the established order coming from that American heritage that any form of protest to that injustice was treason, or worse, terrorist attacks. But you know what? I pray for a day to celebrate freedom. And we have a motto at St. Oscar Romero Parish, and that motto is, prayer without action is useless, but action without prayer is arrogance. But I do pray for a day to celebrate freedom, a day to celebrate equality, a day to celebrate the abolition of poverty, a day to celebrate the revitalization of the environment, a day to celebrate that we are all sisters and brothers on a vibrant planet. I look forward to a day of restitution, reparation, reconciliation, and restoration. Yet this will only come about if we have another R Day, a day of repentance, to turn from our wicked ways. Please pray with me that this nation will embrace the truth of our national sins, that this nation will stop committing those sins, and that this nation will decry and bemoan those sins, that they will apologize for those sins, and do what needs to be done to restore, repair, and reconcile. I don't mean for anyone to accept blame for our ancestors, but to recognize and realize that no matter how progressive, that people still are beneficiaries of white privilege, that they need to examine the learned hidden biases, check daily for stereotypes and prejudices, check for ways that they discriminate, realize structures and systems, and work to dismantle them and begin to build a just society, a beloved community. Let me end by sharing from you a bit of wisdom from the Hebrew scriptures. From 2 Chronicles, it says, "If my people, who are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin, and I will heal their land." Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Father. We appreciate your words of wisdom and holiness, as everyone else has shared with us today. For closing today, and again, I want to thank all of you for being with us for the past almost 2 hours, but it's gone by so quickly. When we are here in prayer and here in unity, you can see what we can do in this world. I'd like to bring forth Sylvia Ledesma, who is one of the elders in the council from Kalpulli Izkalli. If you would please join us. And we also have Carlos Aceves, who is in Las Cruces, who is with the Kalpulli Izkalli. Would you please, Sylvia?
Inclanetzli entonatiu, que tu sol siempre sea brillante. May your sun always shine brilliantly. This is a greeting that our ancestors left for us to remind us that we are all united, that we all have an internal light that connects each and every one of us. And so I think as we all come together here today, there no hay nada más. Like there's nothing else that I would really needs to be said other than thank you, and how much we are so grateful and appreciative to all the community out there listening, all the community that's here with us, all of you who joined us, the drummers, the singers, the people who came and to speak and voice in unity and to help us all heal. And so I want to thank our elders and our ancestors who left us many stories about that there would be a time when Mother Earth would need regeneration and renewal and healing. And when we say Mother Earth, we also mean all of us, humanity, because we are her. She is us. And so we come together here in healing and unity because it doesn't stop here. This is the beginning. Everything that we're experiencing now is just to remind us of the work that we need to do to reach that point. The new humanity, the new sun that will then shine brilliantly within each and every one of us. That nuevo sol We call it el sexto sol. And so with us today, I have invited Carlos Aceves, who is with the Kalpulli Izkalli in Las Cruces and also the El Paso area. Carlos is a teacher. I think he's a natural-born teacher, but he's also co-founder of the newly opened charter school, Xinachtli Raíces de Saber, down in Las Cruces. He's an author. He's written several books, these books have been used in the University of Texas, University of Arizona, and even Harvard University. And so, besides being a teacher, he has just speaks on behalf, I think, or speaks, I would say speaks to our people. And when I say our people, all of humanity, to remind us that of the work that we need to do, of the prophecy that we have been told that we are in the making of of healing and regeneration towards a new humanity. We're in a time of human evolution towards that. And so I'm going to turn this over, I think, to, I guess, sign off here, technically Albuquerque, because we're going to be going to Las Cruces to hear Carlos. Encourage all of you to online to stay tuned, and all of you here also present to listen to these very, very important words from Carlos. Mateo.
Do we go next in Las Cruces? Okay, we're having here a little palabrita from the el jefe de la danza tlanestica. Can you pégatelo a la boca?
Pues primeramente Él es Dios, no Mateo, primeramente dándole gracias a Dios Creador por permitirnos estar aquí reunidos de esta manera. Damos gracias a todos los compadritos de los Kalpulli y las danzas, Taos, Albuquerque, desde acá de la área de Las Cruces y El Paso, ¿verdad? Y gracias a toda la comunidad que están aquí presentes. Les damos muy bienvenida a todos, gracias por estar aquí, ¿verdad? Unificándose, pues, ¿verdad? En este rezo que estamos haciendo en varias comunidades. We want to say thank you to everybody that's here for coming together in this way and coming together in prayer. You know, in different communities throughout the state of New Mexico, we're having this simultaneous prayer. And we say thank you to everybody that's here, you know, for getting together in this way in these tough times that we're having right now. But this is there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of desperation, there's a lot of feelings of injustice, yeah? But the thing is, more powerful than that is when we get together in love and in prayer, and we get together in this way, and we can overcome these things together as a community. It's not just about one race or another, or just one group of people or another. It's about all of us together in this way, getting together in prayer and in love. So we say thank you to the people that are standing here, that your spirits and your hearts are dancing with us. And we say thank you to all the communities throughout the traditional communities of danza that are throughout the state of New Mexico, and really throughout all of the country and in Mexico as well, that are getting together in prayer. So we want to say thank you, and pasamos la... No?
Yeah, they are waiting for you.
Yeah. And we'll be passing la palabra aquí al maestro Carlos Aceves. So thank you, everybody.
Very quickly, because we don't have much time, I want to thank the spirit of creation for bringing us together. And I also want to talk about a subject that needs to be talked about, and that is Brown Lives Matter. And what I mean about brown lives, I'm talking about the dozens of people that are being assassinated across Latin America because they are defending the territorial integrity of Mother Earth. Dozens of warriors in Brazil have been assassinated because they're defending against the burning of the jungle of the tropical forests there, which are really the lungs of the earth. And what they're defending their territory, but they're defending the right of everybody on earth to breathe. Because if the jungles in Brazil are burned, then we're going to get an earth that's basically a desert. And the brown lives also that are being killed in Colombia for the same reason. They're defending the territorial integrity of Mother Earth, and they're being assassinated. The brown lives that are being assassinated in Honduras, the members of COPIN, who are fighting against the mega projects that are destroying the ecology of that country. And Brown Lives Matter, I'm talking about the 13 ecological warriors in Mexico that have been assassinated this year. These are people who weren't killed just walking down the street by the police. These are people who are actively defending Mother Earth, defending our right to breathe. The scientists have told us within this decade, the process of land becoming desert and ice melting will have gone to a critical point, and we will not be able to stop it unless we change our lives and our way of living drastically. If we don't change the fact that Earth is becoming a desert and that ice is melting across the planet, our own lives and the lives of our children will be an ecological nightmare after this decade. That's a scientific reality. Just like the scientists told us about COVID-19 and the pandemic's coming, so they're telling us about we cannot afford to live the way of life we're living and still have the ecology we have. So brown lives matter because across all of the Americas, indigenous warriors are being assassinated for defending Mother Earth. And it might be a somber note to end with, but it's a hopeful note because start thinking about Earth as our mother. Earth is not property. Earth is mother. She gives us life. Unless we start thinking that way, we will not have a planet to offer to our children and grandchildren. Ometeo.
Thank you. That's it for Las Cruces.